crypto markets seem incredibly confused today. It seems like only a few hours ago we were breaking new all-time highs, then suddenly Bitcoin was slammed back down from those all-time highs. People are being liquidated on both sides of the market. It is absolute chaos out there. So what's really going on? Well, I've got a few key data points that we can dive into to unpick this situation and maybe get some sort of idea of where we are going to go next. So look at this crazy price action. Just today, Bitcoin down about 3.65%, and we're down, I believe, over 5% now from the new all-time high, which was put in just yesterday. Look at that, 4.5% to the lows. And since this move was put in, we have bounced pretty aggressively. Now, if you've watched along with some of my previous videos, you will know that most of this down move has been characterized by the liquidations of long positions that were building up in the market. And this volatility that we've seen today has really been a lot higher. Okay, the market has been much more aggressive in both directions than what we have seen generally over the last couple of days, all right, save for these two down moves, which again were characterized by long positions becoming liquidated in the markets. But today I see a very different character emerging, and that is essentially a balance of longs and shorts being liquidated from both sides of the market. So you can see here over the last 4 hours, those are pretty much balanced, and they're pretty high, to be honest. 30 million on both sides of the market. If you zoom out to the last 12 hours, those numbers are more like 50 on the long side and more like 70 on the short side. We actually got long after this drop down. Okay, we had a few different reasons for predicting that move. We knew at the time, predominantly, that there was a lot of long interest in the market. And you can see there is still overall, on aggregate, more long liquidation risk in the market. But at the time, this risk was really stacked up to where current prices were. And we actually saw this move coming, okay, because we could see that these lows were very key. And these lows were very key as well, okay? And we know that because these lows were fundamental to the uptrend that we've been in here, okay? Low here, higher low, higher high, etc., etc. And we know that traders like to place stops around lows. And these levels also conveniently coincided with peaks in liquidation risk. So we placed buy orders further down the book. And the lowest of those orders that I placed were down here at 120,600. Luckily enough, those were filled. And I've actually just taken profit earlier this evening on that long position, or on a portion of that long position, I should say. So if we look here at trade history, we closed out a portion of that long position here at 123,158, and that was 0.2 BTC of a 0.5 BTC position, and that is for a profit of $350. So I'm still in this long position. We're currently up $360 on the remaining 0.3 BTC of that position size. The reason I placed the sell order here for the first take profit is basically playing into former support turned resistance. And that was really my first target, to get money out of this trade. The reason why I didn't want to just leave the entirety of that trade on to run, number one, is risk management, okay? If you're into a winner, right, it makes sense to get chips off the table, okay? The trade is doing what it was supposed to do. The second reason is the way we bounced. So that initial impulse up from the lows was pretty strong, put us up something like 1.5%, 1.42%. But pretty soon after that, the market started moving down again. And then we got into this really, really choppy action that we saw today. And once again, I put that down to the fact that there is liquidation on both sides of the market. And yeah, as you can see, the proof is in the pudding. Positions are being liquidated both on the long side and on the short side. Now again, overall, particularly on the 1 day, you can see this. On the 7-day time frame, you can see this. And even on the 30-day time frame, you can see this. Overall, the leverage in the market has been stacked on the long side while we made this big run up from those put in back on towards the end of September. But in the immediate sense, what we're seeing now is the market is just confused, okay? We've got a load of people following these moves like a hawk, right? Oh no, the market's going down. A load of people got in short here, and a load of those positions got liquidated on the move up. But this move up was long enough, it took long enough for a load of people to jump in on the long side, then started getting liquidated, and so on and so forth. So where do we go from here? Well, this sort of price action is absolutely great for big whales that are trying to bully price down and trying to accumulate more and more Bitcoin at better prices. And better prices mean lower prices, unfortunately. Now you can see that today, the 7th of October, was an $875 million net inflow for the ETFs. And the majority of that actually came from, or in fact, all of the buying came from BlackRock's IBIT fund. Now we know that BlackRock actually invest their own funds into that ETF. Okay, so it's not just client funds going into the ETF, and therefore the ETF has to go and buy Bitcoin to back up those client funds. BlackRock themselves are actually investing into Bitcoin, getting exposure to the spot Bitcoin market through the ETFs. We know that they have an agenda to accumulate as much Bitcoin as they possibly can because of the way that it's performed as an asset over time. And the most logical way for them to do that is to buy it at the lowest possible price. They don't want to buy the top. And they're also smart investors, and they know that dumb retail money likes to jump in on leverage with money that they don't have, and they know that those weak hands will be forced out of the market on small price movements. And I think that is what we can put down a lot of this chaos to. And I think the message from that is essentially don't give up your Bitcoin to big institutions who want to take it from you and hold it forever. In any case, I am still long right now. I don't have a plan to get out of this position immediately. I do think we continue up from here. If we don't do that, there are a couple of levels I'm watching to the downside. Now, of course, the first is going to be a break of the low that we put in today. That would essentially signal a continuation of the downtrend, okay, and really spell the end for this sort of micro uptrend that we've been in since the end of September. The next level to the downside would be this level here at 119,300. There is another level of resistance turn support that we can see down here. I've got it marked out on the chart at 117,900, and beyond that, it's really anyone's guess down to the sort of 110, 112 region. We're up $400 in this position as it stands right now, and I'm not looking to get out of that just yet. If we're falling, I'm looking for buying opportunities. On the flip side, I don't see a short opportunity in this right now, not in the face of BlackRock accumulating, not in the face of the structure we're putting in. Okay, that was a pretty strong bounce from those lows. We swept through a lot of liquidity, although something to be mindful of is there is on aggregate still a lot more long liquidation risk in the market. But look at this on the 1 day and tell me that doesn't look like it's starting to balance out. Okay, we're definitely biased towards the long side, but there's a lot of leverage in the market on both sides. And that is what I'm putting down this choppy price action to. So I don't want to be shaken out by this because I know why it's happening. I know it should be happening given where we are in the market with leverage right now. So yeah, if I wasn't already positioned, I wouldn't be looking to get positioned now. But since I am in this trade, since we did see this down move coming and we did capitalize on that with limit orders by averaging into that position, I can now sit back and assess the situation from above essentially because I'm already positioned. But yeah, wouldn't be looking to get into a position either way right now. If we do come down further, I will be looking for more buying opportunities because, as I've said before, I do still fundamentally believe we're in a bull market. I don't think this is the end of that just yet. But as always, that is just my opinion shared purely for entertainment purposes. Nothing I say should be considered financial advice. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you got some value out of that. Plenty more to come. Catch you in the next one. Bye.